Hello everyone. Today let's see what ReactJS is and how to you get started with this ReactJS, how to install and how to render a basic component, and also how to use states and props in ReactJS. So let's get started. What is ReactJS? ReactJS is a JavaScript library and which is used for building interfaces. So the fundamentals of React are the components, the what are components? Components are nothing but the bits and parts of a web page, and we can render each of the component under other components. So we can use nested components, and we can also use individual components. So for inside these components there are something called as props. Props are nothing but properties, and states are nothing but the dynamic state of a particular entity inside the component itself, and these props and states can be handled using hooks. So this is the component, and there are two types of components: class components and functional components. So we will be mainly using functional components, and also these are the properties which I was talking about, and from one component it can be passed to other components. And also the states are used to maintain the dynamic state of a particular entity. So if let's say a variable's value is true in the beginning, and upon certain component being rendered it gets turned into false, so that dynamic data will be changed and will be stored in using this state. So these states and props can be maintained using something called as hooks. This was a new addition to React 16.8. Before this, they were using the class components only, and in the class components, as we know in the hoops concept, we know something called as this keyword. Using this keyword, the states and the hook, the states and the props were being maintained. But in the new addition, that is React 16.8, it makes our life easy because we can handle states and props very easily using these basic hooks: use state, use effect, and use context. So let's get started and create our first React app. So for this we'll have to go to the terminal, type in cmd, and if you're a Windows user, go to this terminal. Okay, you have to just use this npx create react app, and you can install a new React app. npx create app, new app. So this command will start creating. Okay, do the naming restrictions. Okay, I will have to use all lowercase. Create new React app. This will create a new React app. For me it might get loaded fast, but for the new users, if you're creating a React app for the first time, it will take a lot of time, so have patience and it will get installed. So let's stop here and let's get back when it's done installing. So yeah, welcome back. Now the app has been created. I'll just get into that new app. Okay, I'm now typing cd new app, then I'll be using the VS Code for this. You can just, this is the shortcut, click on, type in code space dot, and it will open your browser. It will open your VS Code. Inside the VS Code, our entire React execution begins from the index.js folder. In the index.js folder, you can remove this report web vitals because this is used for unit testing, since we are not testing anything here. So we can remove that, and also we can see this app is being rendered from here. So our execution begins in the index and it goes on. There is a warning here. Let's see what that warning is. Let's go to the terminal. Okay, so that's not a warning. A new app, this gets rendered. So app is a function. Here you can see header, class name, all of this is inbuilt, which is by default given by React. Let's see what it loads. You can just see that by using npm start. Okay, later. So it's being rendered. Since I've already been using a port number, I think it might ask for a new port number. And yep, did ask me for a new port number 3000. The development server is being started, so it will take time to start in the beginning, but once it is done, you can just whatever changes you made, just by clicking on Ctrl S, it will re-render automatically. This is the auto reload functionality which is newly introduced in React as well as in Flutter. So this is a new thing. So this is by default what is present, what we get as soon as we create a React app. So we can remove all this unwanted stuff and save. You can see it's all gone. If you want to see the changes, let's create an header, say it as hello world, save it. There's a warning, let's see, because we are not using logo. Save hello world. So this was done. Now let's see how to render components. So most of the programmers use a basic structure as they create this new folder inside the source, naming it as components. Let's do the same thing. Let's create a new folder components, and inside the component let's use a new component, and we're creating our first component here. So before we do this, I have an extension here which we will make our life easy. So let's go and install, get that extension. So that extension is called a snippet extension. This is nothing but a shortcut keys. We can just type in a particular code and the entire basic context will get rendered. So this, once you install this, get back to your code. Type in RAFCE. This will give you a functional component. See, you don't need to type in again and again, it just gives you the functional component. Now hello bit, when I do this, hello bit, and this new component should be called if it has to be rendered. So let's call it an app.js. Let's call the new component. Once you call that component, now what should happen? Below hello world, hello bit should be printed. Let's just go check it out. As you can see, hello world, hello bit. So it's working. We have successfully rendered our first component, and now let's see what are states. So for seeing what are states, I will need a button. Let's create a button and give a on click. Let's handle that click inside a function, and let's name the button click me. Now since we have not defined, I'm getting those errors. Let's define the handle click method. Handle click method is equal to, we're making use of the arrow function here. So here the handle will be the on click method, button will be handled here. So in order to make use of this button, we'll make use of the states. Now let's use the states for the first time here. Let's use click, set click, and initially let it be as false. Okay, we have to import this from React. Once we import this, we get here, and we have to set it on button click. We are going to set it as true, and we are going to use that. So how are you going to use it? We are going to use it as click if it is true, and render a component. Let's make it h3 and say button has been clicked. So let's go check it out. So here's the button. Once I click it, I have to get another h3 tag saying button has been clicked. See, button has been clicked. So now this is state. So here the property of the state is dynamically being changed. So first what is happening is I'm going to set the click to false initially. Then upon the button click, I'll make it as true, and then I'll be checking the click. If it is true, then I will render this. And now if I can create another button here saying click button false, or I can say unclick. Upon unclick, I'll define another handler on handle click false, where as soon as I use this handle click false, click on this button, I'll make the set click to false. So then handle click false, it's not been defined, it says. Let's define it once more. False. It's handle false. It's not defined. Okay, I have not used the const here. So yeah, it's done. Handle false. Refresh this. See, click button has been clicked, and then unclick button has not been clicked. Or you want to say, if you want to tell the button has not been clicked, then you can give another option here saying that if it is false, then button has been unclicked. Makes sense? Click me, button has been clicked. Unclick, button has been unclicked. Click me, has been clicked. Unclick. So this was the states. Now let's see what a prop is. So into this here, something you can pass to the new component. This is called as prop. If I pass as hello bit, if I pass bit as a prop to the new component, I should be able to render here. So let's create another h1, let's say, saying that welcome to, not bit. Instead of that, I'll be using the prop. There you have sent the prop. You have to use the prop here. So now you can get user has not been defined. We have to define the prop. We are sending it from here, but we are not fetching it here as of now. So I'll be fetching it. For that, you have to use the props keyword. So once you use props, you can use the props easily by destructuring it. Let's destructure it as props. You can see it has been destructured, and you can use the user here. So welcome to BIT. Let's say instead of BIT, since BIT is already there, let's do it as Bangalore. Okay, sorry, Bangalore Institute of Technology. Welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology, and let's place it above all. Actually, let's replace hello BIT with hello Bangalore Institute of Technology. Welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology. Let's see. You can see here, hello world, welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology. There you go. The hello world is coming from here. We can remove this too, and you can see welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology. I have copied it here. Instead of displaying twice, welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology. Click me, unclick. So this was about the props. Now there is props now, and there is states, and we are handling the states using useState. Now we can handle the props using useEffect. There is something called as useEffect. Now let's see how useEffect works. useEffect. What useEffect does is it re-renders the entire thing upon change of a particular prop. Let's see that prop. Now the prop which I'm using is user. So once the user changes, the value of the user changes, I can re-render the entire screen. So I'll be setting this click methods to null, I can say. So initially it was false, so I'll be making this to null. So I'll set this click method to null upon useEffect. when the user is changed, I'll be setting it to null. Now let's go to user. So it's welcome to Bangalore Institute of Technology. So it's nothing's happening here as of now. I'll make it. Now you can see here. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I will change this to BIT, the short form BIT, and you can see the button has been clicked is still showing. Once I save it, this should get disappeared. See, it gets disappeared. It gets it to null. So you can see button has been unclicked comes in. So what is happening is, once the use effect is set, it is going back to false. You can see on click again. I can do the change for you. Now let's see or I can do another thing. I can set it to true. So you'll get to see the difference now. So I'll be setting it to true. Now it's being refreshed. Now I'll change the username to Bangalore. Once I do this, you can see the button has been clicked. It will go unclicked. Button has been unclicked. Bangalore Institute. If I save this, I'll be saving this. See, okay. Once I save this, it should be button has been clicked. So save, button has been clicked. You can again look at this again. Technology. Once I save this, now it's unclicked. Once I save this, it will go back to click. It's got clicked. So what is happening is, the use effect upon the change of this user, the use effect function will be called, and it will be performing the actions which I specify here. Now I'm specifying it as true. It will do the true thing. If I specify it as false, it will make it as unclicked. So that is the difference. So this was props, this was states, and also the hooks. So this was the basics of React. Welcome to React. Thank you.